Gentlemen?
Good evening.
I want to give you an update on money.
I think everybody wants.
I'm going to talk about phase 4, and Brian will talk a little bit about phase 5. Phase 4 is that we signed the original contract on phase 4 almost a year ago. We're still not done with it. If you look on this first page, you'll see that we've got $44,000 left. What we're hoping to do to spend that down is take $25,000 of that and put in one additional system. We feel like we can afford to do that. We've asked to extend the project through August, through the end of August, because the DEP doesn't, they don't want to have any money left. So we're going to oblige them. Yeah. And we will spend the money. We will use some of it to pay for some of the upfront costs on the permits for phase 5, and we'll just continue to pay salaries through that time period until it's all gone. So that's what we're going to do with this. This money will disappear. Okay, on the second page, way back with phase 3, even before we started phase 3, which would have been several years ago, the commission loaned the project $30,000 because of this money flow that we got from the DEP. We don't always get it in a timely manner. So the commission loaned us the $30,000. We took that money when we started phase 4 and just transferred it into phase 4. But what we've learned from both the last auditor that we worked with and Mark Bowen, talking to Mark, he thinks it makes more sense to take, at the end of each fiscal year, to take that $30,000 and put it back in the commission's coffers, rather than for us to carry it over. It becomes, I'm not sure exactly what the word is, but it's messy if you do it that way. So that's what this is about. We're going to reimburse the commission the $30,000, but
that's a great idea.
We'd like the commission to re-loan it to us when July 1 gets here, because we're still going to have the same needs. So watch. We got it. You have it. So that's what we'd like to do with it. But at this point, we will just return it maybe when July 1. After we get into July 1, we'll make a formal request to put it back. That's what we'll do. That should clear things up.
Yeah. And you'll find that Mr. Bowen's that way about that.
Yes, he was real good about talking through. Shelba was good about it too. She actually caught the fact that there was this unaccounted for $30,000 that was showing up in the commission's ledgers. There wasn't anything that was coming into the DEP, so that was the first alert that we needed to handle. Okay. All right. I'm going to let this man talk about the next phase.
I do want to hit on one point for phase 4 real quickly. On last Friday, I went and did final inspections with the DEP on phase 4 systems, and most of them looked really good. What's left is maybe a little bit of reclamation work. So, other than the reclamation work, phase 4 is pretty much case closed on the construction end.
And we're holding out $3,000 on each system until we're satisfied.
Right. That gives the contractors incentive enough to come back to actually do the work that's remaining and clean up the yards, make sure rocks are out of it, people's gardens aren't torn up, things like that. So that was good. And then of course, as we're moving into phase 5, the DEP, and I've talked about this the last commission meeting, the DEP is kind of pushing us in this form of an on-site inspector. So as you know, I was doing interviews and trying to find somebody that would be a good candidate to work as an on-site inspector for us during phase 5. once again, the position will only last about 4 to 6 months, and it's only going to be during the construction phase. It's not going to be like longer than that or anything like that. It's just basically somebody that'll be there at all times if I can't be there during that time, you know, because I've got office work and or we might have multiple contractors. So, you know, I originally had 5 applicants. They kind of wheedled down based on backgrounds, as well as you know, some people just chose not to be part of the hiring process after a little bit. You know, I did background checks on everybody. I even called all the references that they gave me to try to, you know, get as much information, make sure these people were honest and trustworthy and you know, dependable, able to come to work and stuff like that. Then I formed an interview. Oh, I also took all the applicants to site visits. The last 3 applicants that I had, I took each of them to a site visit, lifted some lids off some systems, showed them what a PEAT module looks like, you know, kind of just gave them a base dry run of what we would be looking at, what we'd be working with, things like that. Then we formed an interview committee that consisted of myself, Rick, and Nona Connolly, who also works on the project. And so we did the interviews on Tuesday and then today, and we have decided as a committee that we would like to choose Robert Matthews as the best fit for the position coming up Phase 5. This is only contingent on the fact if we get Phase 5 money, because once again, it's not a guarantee at this point. It's more, we're just waiting on the DEP to move things along.
Where's this Robert Matthews live?
In Sod, I think, Sod.
Is that you?
Yeah.
I gotta recuse myself on a vote.
But so that's my and as fairly as possible, I tried to make sure that I did it, you know, in the most fair ways as possible. I want to give everybody a proper shot at getting the position. So
And this position is funded by the.
also funded through the DEP. Yeah, it wouldn't be any money out of your pocket.
It's a contractor as an employee.
I'm sorry, what was the
It'll be a
question?
contracted service or an employee,
Employee. It'll be like an hourly. It'll be hourly rate.
$12 an hour.
$12 an hour. Sure was. And you know, and the hours will fluctuate based on, of course, like, you know, if you're, you know, having a contractor out and all of a sudden it starts, you know, raining or storming or something in the middle of your construction, then, you know, may have to come back, or, you know, some days will work longer than others, and we're aware that, you know, then you have flexible hours and reliable transportation and things like that. So that would be, I would like to ask the convention to make a motion to hire Bob Matthews as this position, contingent on Phase 5.
Hey, recuse myself from the vote.
Sure. Is there a motion?
I'll move.
And I'll second that motion. Is that all? Yes?
Yes.
And let the record show that Mr. Matthews did recuse himself from the vote.
Thank you.
All right, we're ready to come back in here.
Appreciate it.
Rick, you're next on it for the attendance
Oh,
project.
okay, good, thank you. I don't have as much to report as I thought we would. We're still working some things out. Thank you, Mary.
Yeah.
Putting it on anyhow. A couple years ago, the Youth and Prevention Coalition sponsored an attendance summit. We've had we've had 2 summits after that. The idea is that we have a lot of kids who miss a lot of school, both with excused absences and unexcused absences. So we've had a group of people who consist of people from the school system, counselors, attendance directors, people from probations, and our prosecuting attorney and assistant prosecuting attorney, and people from DHHR, which have been meeting pretty often to both look at attendance trends and figure out some solutions. And the thought is that we now have a matrix for how the school system will address excessive absences and what kind of interventions would happen. But we're also looking to maybe actually taking some legal steps come late summer, early fall, in trying to encourage parents that it's really important for them to get their kids to school and that they're the primary person in this. I'll be bringing you more detailed kind of stuff, I hope, fairly shortly. But I did want to get you guys alerted because, this is a total agency kind of thing, and it affects everybody.
Countywide.
It is countywide.
Thanks, Rick.
Sure, more about that later.
Next on the agenda was Guyan Valley Youth Football League's request for a $15,000 donation. Is there a motion to give any money to the football league?
I move that we provide $2,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is that an all yes?
Yes.
Next on the agenda is the East Lincoln County Crime Watch. We tabled their request for reimbursing them under 501(c) filing. I haven't received any information about that.
He's been, I guess, busy. He had another, he hasn't gotten anything to me.
What does the commission wish we want to wait? Or
I would like to just go ahead and pay this.
Okay, what is it, 16?
It's
1,600.
1,600?
We have money to do it.
I'll
move.
that. Go ahead.
Oh, wait,
I have no problem.
I thought it was 1,400 plus 600 gas card.
Yes, I'm sorry, that is
Okay, that's all
correct.
right, I just want to make
It's
sure.
$2,000 altogether.
2,000
Yeah.
total, right, a
Yeah,
thousand for the attorney
we never
fee.
give them the gas ahead.
No.
Okay, so
A
it's
1,000
2,000
attorney
total.
fee,
I
400.
move that we give $2,000 for reimbursement.
Second.
Is that an all yes?
Yes.
Thank you very much on behalf of the Crime Watch, and I do also want to thank the commission for all the work that they did at the fishing tournament. I don't know if you got to see the pictures of the kids in the paper. I was told that one of the kids that won a trophy, his older brother had all kinds of trophies and he had never won one. And that made his day that he was able to get one for the smallest fish, but at least he got a trophy,
At least
so.
you got a
We
fish.
had 144 kids that registered. There were some that did not register, but it was a huge success, and I want to thank the commission for having that.
My son got a fish,
Thank you.
wasn't very big, but he got one.
If I didn't have 4 sons playing soccer, we'd have been.
Yes.
Missed a good time.
It's 4 inches. If I know they was giving a trophy away for the smallest fish, I thought. Next on the agenda is changing our procedure on donations and contributions. I know we did get some feedback from Rick. I think
Rick McDowell was the only person that actually provided any feedback, and I think what I did was I just kind of went through, and most of what Rick wanted was just kind of clarification, and I kind of went back through and just tried to provide more, make it more clear, but nothing was changed basically for this policy.
Does the commission wish to go ahead and adopt this fluid policy we have on donations?
Could I just ask one thing about is it clarified whether the nonprofit thing?
Yes, that's clarified in here. Yes,
They don't
yes,
have to be a 501c3.
and that's what I tried to explain in the last meeting. But whenever you're writing a policy,
Sure.
you're thinking, organizations, nonprofit, whoever, and that's why we listed whenever you were, when people were requesting money, whoever is in charge. And if it is a nonprofit, provide that information. If it's not, then that's fine. But anyone can request. But I think I pointed that out in there.
Yeah, well, that's the key to all this, as you know. I'm gonna ask for a motion to approve this policy, and we'd like if the paper maybe could go ahead and publish it so people will know exactly what's expected of them as far as the commission's appraisal. And, but all this is based upon the available funds, so, no matter what we say we can give, if we don't have the money to give, we can't give it. So I want everyone to be aware of that. We're just trying to give us a framework and how we can accept how we can give the money out and know exactly, we can document exactly what the money's went for and things of that nature. With that, I'll ask for a motion to go ahead and approve the document for the donations and contributions.
I move.
Second.
Is that an all yes?
Yes.